Hey guys, welcome back to New Truth Media. I'm just doing a follow-up on the Nick J. Fuentes video I did that got a few views, but quite a few dislikes. I don't know if they were groupers or whatever, but that still baffles me that someone like that is being paid to promote hatred, and I wonder what this guy would think of it. So. Um, Naturally, I'm moving on to the Stephen Crowder Carlos Maza incident, and obviously the internet's full of this stuff. Um, and I just wanted to take a few clips. I haven't singled anyone out purposefully. I've just taken a few that I think make my point. Um, Hopefully, I'm not copyright striking anything because I'm just taking clips and commentary. And I just want to highlight the absolute sheer hypocrisy of how this person and a few others um, do full-on character assassinations at will because they believe they're right. And there's no humor in it either, which is the other thing. I mean, in my opinion, all humor gets a pass because it's humor. It's not ill intentioned. I've watched a fair bit of Stephen Crowder, like the whole thing, which I doubt any of these people have actually watched a whole episode. But he does his show has, yes, it has some things that people might find close to the bone, and it goes through a structure. It's quite political. It often has someone on, as I said in the other video. And yes, there are some gay jokes and yeah, there's some jokes. And then it usually has like a really nice ending, like a wrapping up. He wraps up the show with a kind of monologue of positivity, and no doubt encourages and makes people feel a, a bit more positive about their lives. So I think he's actually doing something good, and he's doing comedy. The point about comedy is not everybody's supposed to like it. It's not supposed to be universally liked. And this is the irony of some of these clips I'm going to show, is that it's 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 this thing of if you don't like the comedy, that then it's offensive, and it's wrong. Well, that you're always going to offend people with comedy, and some people are going to find it funny, and you just have to be in good spirits. You have to. Sometimes you're the butt of the joke. Growing up, we've all been the butt of a joke. I've been bullied. Lots of us have been bullied. And what do you do with a bully? You disarm them by laughing along with them and taking the mick out of them back, which is exactly what Carlos Maza could have done, rather than using his this marginalized card. Because I'm sorry, I don't buy it. I'm not at all prejudiced against gays. I have no issue with gays or effeminate gays. I think different people enrich the world and make the world go round. But you also have to be able to laugh at people. You have to be able to have that thing, and people need to grow a bit of a backbone, to be honest. And I just think it's a bit sad that one angry gay guy who is offended by a joke. I can't remember the origins of it, but again, I don't think they like his politics, and I'm not going to get into that because I don't know the full story. But the point is the Stephen Crowder took a bit of a beef with this Carlos Maza guy, and in Stephen Crowder's mind, I'm doing what lots of left-wing journalists do now, is some miraculously read people's minds. But looking at him and how he works, I would imagine, so I'm not purporting to be able to read his mind, but I would imagine that his sexual orientation is not coming into this other than the fact it's a way, it's a prop, it's a comedy prop, it's a way of identifying a characteristic that is true. He's got a little bit of a lisp. He's a queer, and he's angry. He's angry with Crowder. I don't think that is homophobic, or I don't think that I don't think you can garner from that he hates gays and is prejudiced towards gays. And these clips, they go on to say, in fact, maybe I won't do the clips just to risk not having a copyright strike. I might just chuck a few in that show the hypocrisy. But they go on to completely character assassinate Dave Rubin, and it goes dum 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 dum, and they just destroy him, remove his gay card. So he's not entitled, as a homosexual married man, he's not entitled to his opinion. They don't like that opinion, so that's gone. You're not a real gay. Your opinion counts for nothing. But my opinion, as I don't know if this guy is gay or not, but our opinion is the right one because the person is marginalized. And just where did our sense of humor go? And the point that Rubin makes as well is that all, like Family Guy, all of them are gay jokes, Asian jokes, you name it, and that's been the case throughout comedy up until yesterday or whenever, where suddenly somebody decided it wasn't funny and it was offensive. And it is then, that's one thing, which is a real shame. But then on the flip side, to then start attacking people and doing exactly what you're claiming the person is doing, baselessly attacking people without doing your research or understanding anything. So then they go on to talk about trans. The thing that Stephen Crowder did, they mention a thing where he dresses up as a woman and goes to a family planning clinic, and he does this thing to see, it's an experiment, it's like so he does a hidden camera, he goes in and he actually has a friend's P who happens to be pregnant, and so he goes there and he has a fake bump, and for anyone who hasn't seen it, I'm sure lots of people have, he has a fake bump, and then he does the urine test and it comes back positive. And I think it's amazing bit of TV or media, whatever you want to call it, because the people's reactions are like, well, you're clearly a bloke, you've got a beard, you're a bloke in a dress, and they're puzzled, how on earth is he pregnant? And rather than going to the very serious and thing that they should have done, is said, look, we don't mean to offend you, but is it safe to say that you have testicles and a penis? And if that's the case, having the hormone that sets off a pregnancy test to positive presence of that hormone in a man's urine is a direct indicator of testicular cancer. And they didn't mention that because they didn't want to offend this trans person. And this is why PC cult, this is why it's dangerous. So they went with it, and they started talking about her options for the pregnancy, and let him go out of the door without telling this guy that he might well have testicular cancer. I mean, that's a complete failed duty of care. I mean, my God, if somebody in a different scenario who was delusional and thought they were pregnant and happened to have testicular cancer, and nobody flagged it up. Imagine that. And instead they take that out of context. They don't understand that skit and what it was trying to achieve, which is actually through humor uncover a really serious point and concern about how the trans that I think we need to put the brakes on the whole trans thing, because we don't know enough about it yet, and we need to just slow down, in my opinion. I'm not saying so. There was that. They disparage Reuben. They write him off, and then right at the end, he refers to Jordan Peterson as the Anita Bryant of the trans movement. Now, that is just unbelievably misinformed, a horrible character assassination, again based on sheer ignorance, and not knowing anything about the story. That Jordan Peterson is not anti-trans. You only need to watch like half an hour of his stuff to find out where he's coming from. He's a clinical psychologist. He's very calm, measured, highly intelligent, very sensitive guy who has nothing against trans people. In fact, nothing but compassion for them. But again, has the same concerns that society is rushing this thing and wants to have a further conversation about it. So there we go. I haven't bothered with the clips because I won't risk a copyright strike. But yeah, we had Carlos Maza here talking about how marginalized he is. But again, I don't want to do this because I don't want to be accused of being a homophobe or attacking. I just think the hypocrisy is unacceptable. It's this whole thing of like, if you're on the wrong side of the argument, the zeitgeist, the political argument, then you're a demon. You're demonized. You're not allowed to have an alternative opinion. And the other thing they mock Reuben for is saying, well, without humor, you end up with fighting and war and bloodshed. Well, yes, that's obviously an extreme statement, but it's not incorrect, because if you have really het up people who never laugh and are always deadly serious and angry and protesting against this homophobe and this person, look what you get. You get Antifa and Proud Boy and all these. You get them clashing on the streets. You get violence. You do get violence, and that was dismissed as complete nonsense. Like he laughed it off, like Reuben was an idiot. And I think that's desperately unfair to just do a character assassination of several people just willy-nilly, without backing it up, without having any other explanation other than your own conceited opinion, and then leaving it at that, at poor marginalized Carlos Maza, who can't take a joke. You know, it literally, people need to start taking jokes, because it does just make him look like a wetty. Like I'm sorry, I don't mean any offense by that, but if you instead, it's like this, like I said, it's like the school playground analogy. If you run to the teacher and tell, you just get bullied more. And this, he's run and tell, and nobody respects that. It's not what you do as a grown man. And what he's doing is even further fulfilling that stereotype of, oh, I'm a weak poor marginalized gay guy who's being bullied, bullied by one good, well-meaning comedian talk show host, who, if he was a bigot and some horrible person, he wouldn't, as they point out, wouldn't have 4 or 5 million viewers. So, because people who are assholes tend to not have such a massive following. So yes, I've refrained from the clips, because I'm new to YouTube, and I haven't read all the community guidelines things, so I don't want to get any strikes or bans. But if you want to, I will link the 3 videos I referenced to in the description, so you can have a look and see what I was referring to. But yeah, I think, gay, straight, black, white, Asian, this obsession with identity, and we're all human. I love all humans. I don't get this, and by doing this, you create this segregation, which is the opposite of the project of the last 20-30 years, which was to have inclusivity, equal rights, equality of opportunity, all these things that we fought so hard to get to. And now we've basically got there. I mean, not entirely, but now it seems the people are upset that the crusade's over, and they want more. They want blood, and you okay. If Carlos Maza was genuinely affected and upset, and if this affected his life, and this really affected him, then that's really sad, and I'm sorry that happened to him, and on his behalf. But what about Stephen Crowder, who has been destroyed in the media? Look on YouTube, there's thousands of videos, and there's news articles, there's attacks from Vox, there's everything. He has been demonetized, banned, ostracized, and can you not spare a thought for another fellow human being? That must have been horrible for him, being called a homophobe and some nasty person, when he's a decent Christian, well-meaning guy, who likes to make jokes. Why can't we joke anymore? So what if the guy's gay? So what? So what if they're offended? I mean, if he's been really offended, but I can't see what's really, really offensive about essentially making an observation about someone. It's like someone saying to me, like, overgrown bearded tosser or something. I'd laugh at that because it's true. My beard's overgrown. I should trim it. It's half ginger, it's half brown, and I'm probably, in a lot of people's eyes, a tosser. I'm just inviting the comments for that. But hopefully I've made my point. And again, I've gone on longer. I'm trying to make these videos closer to 10 minutes each time, but here we are at 20 minutes. Thank you again for listening. Please, as always, like or dislike and share the video, make comments. I'm trying to get this this channel off the ground so I can do more serious kind of news type coverage, which I mentioned in other videos I'm working on. It just requires obviously a lot more work than just sitting at my desk and talking into a camera. So there is stuff to come, so subscribe as well if you're at all interested in my opinion. I'm going to keep going, and hopefully I'll put something of interest out eventually. But I thought I just had to do a follow up to this. And again, I've rambled on for another minute, so I'm out. Peace.